When Wonder Woman enters the fray, you know shit's about to go down. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and we are picking up where we left off in the last video with DC versus vampires. The Flash is dead. Left on the sandy shores of a beach, his friends see his corpse and start to mourn. The Flash was the lifeblood of this group, and now they have lost their lifeblood. A bit ironic, don't you think? This was a massive hit, but Batman was used to being hit, so he went straight to work, trying to discover what happened here. Who killed the Flash? While he was investigating, Green Lantern decided he was the new leader of the League, sending people out to search for what he knows he did. Batman, however, wanted to do his own thing, because he was the greatest detective after all. But on the streets of Gotham, war had broken out. Batgirl tried to break up a fight, tossing the thug to the side, but unbeknownst to her, the one she should be worried about was right behind her. The vampire infestation has begun, and they were going for the jugular, inches away from taking her throat. She was worried at first, till she realized she had backup. Nightwing was here, and he kept her safe. But while he was doing that, Batman found himself in the sewers. But he was not alone. Right next to him stood a member of the Wonder Twins. You see, she could feel her brother. Knowing Batman, she knew he would have answers, so she wanted to know the truth. Where is my brother? And Batman told her what he discovered. I discovered human DNA and vampire DNA right here in this place. They both knew what happened, so she decided to stay and help him investigate. But he really should be in Gotham, because the streets of Gotham had become a bloodbath. The Penguin was being chased, and when he ran into Zatanna, he thought he was safe. But she just said, "Back off, boys. I'm feeling a little peckish." Then proceeds to drain him dry. Sadly, she wouldn't be the last baddie to turn, because Wonder Woman was about to join her side. Looking at the moon, she was wondering how this went so wrong. How did she lose the Flash? And Green Arrow joined her, but she was very smart. She had suspicions on Green Arrow and wrapped him in the lasso of truth, forcing him to tell her what happened. And when he did, she couldn't even comprehend it. He was your best friend. Sadly, she must have forgotten the abilities of a vampire. You should never be this close. They are very convincing. So he convinced her to drop the lasso, and inching closer and closer, he gently bit her neck and whispered, "Welcome to the family." Back on the streets of Gotham though, Black Canary had found the corpse of the Penguin, and someone had found Black Canary finding the corpse of the Penguin. Robin, the little psycho, thought Black Canary was a vampire, and he thought she had just drained the Penguin, so he decided to fight her. He was good, but Black Canary was better. Gaining a sample of his blood, she proceeds to knock him out and taking off, because she had tests to run. Batman, however, had tests to run of his own. Jumping into the sewer, he found a speck of her brother, and he comforted her. "I'm sorry, he's gone." But right now, she was only seeing red. She wanted vengeance. Who did this to my brother? And Batman reveals that bone is very hard. Even when chopped with metal, tiny fragments of the metal will be stuck in the bone. But this time, I saw nothing. This should be very impossible, except if the knife was a construct of light that never existed in the first place. Canary, however, had returned back to base. You see, she had a camp of heroes that already knew about the vampire apocalypse, and they knew they were going to need more help. Right now, they were becoming overrun, and it was about to get so much worse, because Wonder Woman and Green Lantern convinced every member of the Justice League that Batman killed the Flash. Yeah, this is not good. Constantine, however, just wanted to have a drink with Z, until he realized that Shorty was a vampire, but he knew low-key, because I keep telling y'all, Constantine is the Batman of magic. After binding her in magical restraint, he just wanted to talk. "Tell me what it's like being an undead." And she smiled. "Well, it is amazing." Back in the Batcave though, Batman was about to face an op. He was not prepared to fight. I'm just joking. He was very prepared. Putting on his cowl in the darkness, his person launched an attack, and we see it was Green Arrow. Because Batman's theme is the darkness, he just assumed Batman was already a vampire. But that was the wrong move, because Bruce was pissed off, screaming in rage, "You came for me. in my home. How dare you? Now, Bruce is the forgiving type, but when you cross him, when you come to his home and try to kill him, he doesn't play. Mind you, Green Arrow isn't no slouch. I mean, he has hands, but this was Batman. Batman proceeds to beat his head in with a monitor, and he was landing every single hit. It got so bad, Green Arrow says, screw this hand-to-hand combat, I'ma use my arrow. And Bruce still blocked it. He didn't realize that it was holy water, so he still went on striking and striking. He was literally about to kill Green Arrow, till he realized, is this water? You aren't a vampire, are you? And Green Arrow said, you aren't one as well. And they both felt very stupid. They didn't have trust, but John trusted Zatanna. They were having a conversation before Dr. Fate decided to interrupt. And as soon as Zatanna saw him, she went for his neck. He stopped her mid-air before she could make a mistake with his magics. No, love, don't do that. But Dr. Fate didn't care. He roasted her alive. This pissed John off. What did you do that for? Dr. Fate said, bruh, she's a vampire. She's already dead, and we have a world to protect. But John didn't much care for the world if the people he loved weren't in it. Back at the Batcave, though, Green Arrow was healing from his wounds because Bruce strikes hard and fast. Bruce was hurt as well, but not as bad as Green. In this universe, they were acquaintances, not friends. So this meant it was Bruce's responsibility to let him know what happened to his actual friends, the Flash and Green Lantern. The Flash is dead, and Green Lantern killed him. This was a hard pill to swallow for him. He wanted vengeance. He wanted to hit the street. But Bruce assured him his people were already on the street. Unbeknown to him, his people were fighting off Vampire Gorilla Grodd, and they were losing. Gorilla Grodd, being a cocky prick, made fun of them actually. He said, you would have been turned, but you don't have powers. Pissing Batgirl off, stabbing him right in his back, he transformed into his bat form and ran away, making it more obvious that the vampires' goal were not the pawns, no, they were going for the head. And sadly, it seems like the Joker has been turned. And boy, that was a mistake. But at that moment back in the Batcave, the alarms went off. Intruder alert. Turning around, they saw Wonder Woman. Now usually they'll be happy to see her, but she played it like they were crazy. Bruce, how could you kill the Flash? And Bruce knew at that moment that yeah, Shorty's turned. Launching some stakes into the shadow, we see Green Lantern was there all along watching all this play out. This was a trap. And if these two were here, more were definitely coming. And they were right, because the Justice League was here. They didn't even want to fight at first, but Bruce was already paranoid. He didn't know who to trust, so he decided, let's just beat everyone up. And just like that, the superhero civil war during a vampire apocalypse began.